He also has Soren, Lord of Innistrad, as his Planeswalker suite. Mm-hmm. It is a sweet Planeswalker. Compared often to Elspeth, Knight Errant, which of course is often hailed as one of the top 3 Planeswalkers ever. And while Soren has the +1 make a guy, doesn't have the +1.
it has a -2.
Yeah, the minus.
So
what made Elspeth so good is she did not have a minus ability. It was all upside, except for her ultimate, of course.
All right, so we're underway. Casey Hanford on the play, being the highest seed. Gene was actually our 8th seed, so he's been on the draw this entire top 8. But it hasn't stopped him from playing Champion of the Parish on turn 1.
For several times, Yes. So turn 1 champion from Gene gets things
going. Looks like a Blood Artist is going to come down from Casey. Bring that to the front of his hand. Nope, that's a Tragic Slip.
Yeah.
I also see a Soren, Lord of Innistrad, the aforementioned Planeswalker.
We won't be seeing that for at least a couple more turns, but we may be seeing that this game. Gene
has some of his... Is it Burning Tree Emissary?
And yes, it is Burning Tree Emissary. In response, we have a Tragic Slip.
Gene trying to sneak in the counter.
But he's
like, but
I wanted my counter. And now the Burning Tree Emissary.
Madcap skills.
Madcap skills on the Burning Tree Emissary. So
it's interesting that Gene chose to play. It's more mana efficient than I know he had an Experiment 1 in his hand. Might have just played the Experiment 1 anyway, depending on if he has another creature to evolve the Experiment 1 with. Or if it's just a 1/1. Because this is a pretty big target.
Alright, so Casey follows up with a Cartel Aristocrat on his turn. 1 mana open, potentially showing a Tragic Slip.
Yeah, if he wanted to Tragic Slip the Burning Tree Emissary, he'd have to sacrifice his own Cartel Aristocrat to itself.
Yeah.
That is a play, and it might be worth it if he has one, but
I don't know if he has one.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he has one, and it looks like he's going to be setting up for a Soren, Lord of Innistrad, next turn.
So it takes a big hit from the Burning Tree Emissary, and Gene follows it up with that Experiment 1 we mentioned, a second copy of Experiment 1 for Gene, and pass back to Casey. Under some pressure.
Another land. Looks like this. Yep, Soren's coming down. Likely making a token. No, he just wants... He wants an emblem.
Interesting. There's oh no, wait. Which he minused the Soren and then put a vampire into play.
Okay,
it was just the wrong
wrong number.
Wrong number. Yeah, I wasn't thinking so. Yeah,
that's a really cool vampire. Yeah, everybody knows that's a vampire. It says right on the card.
Yep. And those are available actually today and yesterday. They were here. The artists were here making those tokens and doing some alterations.
Gene draws for his turn.
A number of cool alterists on the Open Series.
Yeah, discussing the options. So, a couple options. Casey still had a healthy 15. It really needs a creature of some sort to evolve the Experiment ones. Alternatively, Mayor of Averbrook would be very good. Foothoof Boar, that's pretty solid. Now he has to decide where his attacks go. How much is he willing to try and outpace the Soren? Versus, basically, if he can kill Soren if he wants,
right? But
it's going to cost him a ton of damage,
right?
In which to do so.
Yeah, and often, one of the big upsides of Planeswalkers that I think a lot of people don't really think about that often, is that they absorb a lot of damage. Shaheen Sarani is very well known for playing Planeswalkers and going, if they're attacking my Planeswalkers, I'm happy with that. That means they're not attacking me.
All right, we'll see where the guys go. So I would probably send both Experiment ones at the Soren and the other 2 creatures at Casey, because it still threatens the Soren, and the best block Casey has was the block he actually made. Put both of his creatures in front of the Burning Tree Emissary, and
then
sacrifice the vampire to the Cartel Aristocrat.
Right. So Soren takes no damage. Cartel Aristocrat takes no damage. Casey down to 8. Soren's going to make another vampire.
Looks like Gene might have just gone, hey, everybody at you.
Yeah, he may have. It was hard to tell.
Wow.
Casey, feeling bold, going to attack the Aristocrat. And that will be why. Here's a blasphemous act.
So Casey Hanford using his stack to his advantage. He's casting Blasphemous Act, locking in the 4 mana cost.
Right, and then
responding to his card.
To give Cartel Aristocrat protection from red, so it sticks around after the Wrath effect. Gene follows up with a 3rd copy of Experiment 1, so the board right now is Soren on 5. Cartel Aristocrat, both on Casey's side of the board. Gene, just 1 non-land permanent in the form of Experiment 1. Soren goes up to 6, makes another vampire. Cartel Aristocrat coming over to play. Going to hit Gene for 2, and a 2nd copy of Cartel Aristocrat added to the board for Casey. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. So Gene sees he's not going to get through triple Aristocrats.
So basically, Casey was able to
double Planeswalkers there. Casey and Soren.
Yeah. Casey was able to live until he was able to Blasphemous Act the board away, and Gene has nothing to do, so both players bring out their list, looking over sideboarding, and that's what we'll do as well.
Yeah, but first, we're going to give away more premium.
Oh, I love premium.
You love premium?
I read it every day.
Yeah, same here.
Well, not on weekends. It doesn't come out
sometimes
on weekends.
I read it on weekends. If I try to save something for the weekend. Yeah. But yeah, we're going to give away 1 year of SCG Premium now. I'm going to ask you guys a question. If you don't know how this works, we're going to ask you a question. You tweet the answer with the hashtag SCG Premium, which is somewhere in the middle here. I'm no weatherman. I can't really do
you would not make it in the weatherman business.
Or at least I need more practice. So we're going to ask you guys that question. You just need to be correct. You don't need to be first. We're just going to choose one random correct answer to win 1 year of SCG Premium. So we've made our questions so far all Grand Prix Miami related.
Why stop now?
Why stop now? So one of the big deal things we have coming for Grand Prix Miami is we've got a number of artists showing up at the event, and
but one of them in particular
has
never been to a United States Magic tournament.
Yeah, so which artist is that?
Until Grand Prix Miami.
That's right. This will be this artist's first appearance at a U.S. Magic event. So very cool. Name that artist. Include SCG Premium, the hashtag SCG Premium in your tweet, and you're in the running for 1 year of premium. So pretty cool. 1 year premium. That's a lot of premium.
That is a lot of premium.
All right, let's look at sideboards.
You'd have to play in 12 Star City Opens to get that much premium.
Yeah, because you get a month for.
You get a month for signing up.
Yeah. I mean, you could play in. You should do that. You should play in 12 Opens, win 1 year. Like, you could just keep free rolling the premium.
I know people that do that.
Yeah, why not?
A lot of people that come and play in the Open Series regularly do not play for their premium subscription.
That seems like a solid plan.
So I love the glaring spotlights at Casey Hanford sideboard.
I know
they will not be coming in this match.
But it's just awesome that they're there.
Yeah.
I like that because he's respecting the hexproof.
Yeah.
And I think if there was any weekend to do that, it's the weekend when 3 premium writers mention hexproof as being underplayed. I think you're like, well, yeah, I'm not going to play it. I have an answer to it.
I've seen Casey play against a blitz deck before. He doesn't have much in his sideboard, but his main deck is very good. I expect to see 2 Pillar Flame, 1 Blasphemous Act, potentially 1 Olivia Voldaren, and the Falcon Wrath Aristocrats are probably the weakest card. Olivia Voldaren not fantastic, but I think it's much stronger than Falcon Wrath Aristocrat in this particular matchup. I would have liked to see a cheaper card, but he has other decks to worry about as well. So
on Gene's side, something that I think is interesting, he's got 3 copies of Boros Reckoner of his own. So if he happens to have Reckoner down and Casey Blasphemous Acts, that's bad news for Casey.
Right. I expect to see the Boros Reckoners from Gene, if only for that interaction. It will make. I like them replacing the flint hoof boars.
Okay, just another like kind of a 3-drop.
Yeah, kind of a 3. Yeah, just they're very similar cards. It's a non-human. You don't want to eliminate the synergies within the deck. The other thing, I'm not sure about the madcap skills. Maybe it could replace those as well. Because once again, Gene doesn't have a lot for this matchup either. Basically, he could also like to bring in the Boros Charms,
right?
If he just wants the whole Wrath protection,
right?
Well.
Yeah,
he is otherwise very soft to Blasphemous Act, as you saw in Game 1. It just wipes up his whole board, and Gene doesn't really have a second wave.
Yeah, I think that's the basically he's figuring if he's in a situation like Game 1 where Boros Reckoner is not on the board but Blasphemous Act is still happening, that's still backbreaking to him, even if it didn't deal 13 damage to him. Being able to give his creatures protection or make them indestructible. I mean,
and also like big combat situations. You saw the one turn there was a big combat with a lot of blocking.
Yeah.
Being able to basically a poor man's frontline medic.
Right.
You don't get the 3/3 and you don't get it every turn, but your creatures still don't die in combat, and that can be really important against a card like Blood Artist.
Yeah, so, that's another big one, right?
Finally, if he doesn't want Boros Charm, I wouldn't mind Pillar of Flame. It doesn't deal with a ton of cards, but it can deal with a card like Doom Traveler, a Cartel Aristocrat without a friend, or the big one, Blood Artist.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier about the Blood Artist rolling over to a Rest in Peace, it's similar kind of interaction with Pillar of Flame, which exiles and does not actually have creatures going to the graveyard, so Blood Artist does not trigger. So not only does Pillar deal with the Blood Artist, but it deals with other guys, and the Blood Artist doesn't do anything. So that's potential bring in. But yeah, there's something to be said for not watering down your deck too much.
Right. I don't think you can bring in Boros Reckoner, Boros Charm, and Pillar of Flame, but I think all 3 cards have significant applications. Yeah. They can bring in maybe like 2 of them, especially if you take I think the Fire Fist Strikers need to go making. KZ has too many 1/1s lying around, and making one of them not block is not exciting. It looks like Gene on Experiment 1, he did bring in the Boros Charms.
Okay.
It looks like.
That makes sense.
Gene also has a Mayor of Averbrook. So Doom Traveler to play from Casey. Yeah, and Doom Traveler really, really good against Gene's deck. He has so many 1 toughness attackers. So not only is it going to chump block twice, they're not even chump blocks a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So he's bringing in Thalia.
Yeah, he brought in Thalia. That's something that I didn't exactly expect.
It could make sense. It is, if you want to side out a lot of your other 2-drops,
right?
Lightning Mauler, Fire Fist Striker.
Right, you just got to have
not very good. First strike, very important.
Right. And
maybe he wants it more for first strike than he does for make spells more expensive.
Yeah, but he needs to keep in mind
he does not have a lot of spells. He's going to have about 16 or so.
The other scary thing is, though, it makes Boros Charm cost 3, and in a deck like Gene's, that's usually tight on mana, that could end up presenting a problem. So Cartel Aristocrat joins the force on Casey's side.
Huge card from Casey. Doom Traveler, Cartel Aristocrat goes down the board very, very easily.
Gene down a game here, facing a pretty standard but pretty good opening from Casey against his deck.
Yeah. Looks like Mayor of Averbrook might be the play. Yep.
And it is. So Mayor of Averbrook joins Thalia and Experiment 1.
Kenny Mayer himself. So yeah, I don't believe that I guess Gene could attack with his experiment one only, because Casey would have to give up his basically the best block Casey would have if he chose to block. He would before blocker sacrifice Doom Traveler to the Cartel Aristocrat, and then double block the experiment one with both of his creatures. So he'd lose the Doom Traveler and the Spirit it leaves behind, but not lose his Cartel Aristocrat. Looks like Casey did not want to make that trade. And I can't say I blame him.
Right, yeah, just take the 3.
It's a very powerful interaction. Cuts down a lot of Casey's blocking. So, can't say I blame him for wanting to leave his cards in play. Casey is taking 2 damage from his lands.
And he has a Blood Artist.
I fully expect Tragic Slip.
Yeah, the fact that he played that land untapped, leaving a untapped Blood Crypt there, pretty much telegraphs a Tragic Slip.
However,
a Tragic Slip doesn't cost 1 right now.
Yes,
it costs 2.
I think he just took 2 damage for no reason.
Yeah.
So this could be a significant misplay from Casey. Not only not playing the Tragic Slip on this turn, but taking 2 damage to not be able to cast it. Because it is quite a potent card right now.
Yeah, and
I think Casey might block expecting to be able to.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
It's possible with this much time, though, he may be realizing his mistake, but just, you know, not showing it. He could have realized it now, thinking, oh no, that's not going to work. But hopefully he has time to save himself from that mistake, at least to as much as possible.
So he doesn't block as if he can cast Tragic Slip. That's my best guess on why he played the untapped land.
Yeah, right.
It is simply...
He doesn't have a 1 casting cost flash creature, that's for sure.
Yeah. Alright, so Casey going to sacrifice Doom Traveler to the Cartel Aristocrat. Gets the Blood Artist trigger.
Yep.
And now he's going to double block.
So this is what we suggested, well, we thought he might do last turn, and he is choosing to do it this turn. So Blood Artist triggers twice here, and Cartel Aristocrat sticks around.
It's going to be a total of 3 times. Doom Traveler, the Spirit, and the Experiment one.
Right. But yeah, the Doom Traveler once, and then twice there during the combat.
You know, if I'm Gene, I might have considered not playing the Lightning Mauler, just flipping the Mayor of Averbrook. I think he might need a bunch of creatures. He might need the backside of Mayor of Averbrook to win this game.
All right, so
Casey, there is the Tragic Slip.
Yeah, Casey untaps with that Tragic Slip. Looks like he may have realized his mistake before accidentally doing it. So there he casts Tragic Slip for 2 mana to deal with the Mayor of Averbrook.
Another Blood Artist trigger.
Yep.
So these are starting to pile up. The life totals have switched.
They have. Casey not 13, Gene at 12. Casey with, again, 1 untapped land. No good here with Athalia in play on the other side of the board.
So, if I'm Gene, I might consider, playing. That's a very good attack.
Yeah, frontline medic comes down, pairs with a Lightning Mauler. I'm sorry, Boris Lee. Sorry.
They have the exact same art, basically.
Yeah.
One of them costs 1 mana. So this is Boris Elite in play. Coming down with haste, pairing with the Lightning Mauler and Battalion. So, you know, great little thing about this deck is that Battalion is pretty easier to trigger in this deck than a lot of other decks. Not just because it's playing a bunch of creatures and passing the turn, but it's using haste to help trigger Battalion.
Especially love how Lightning Mauler helps Battalion, because just as the, just presenting the haste ability as, if you just got 2 guys but one of them's an unpaired Lightning Mauler, can make that.
So Casey asking the judge a question to the judge about something. I'm not sure what.
And Cartel Aristocrat gets in front of Boros Elite.
Looks like it. Is that the creature I expected it to block? I expected at least trade with the Lightning Mauler might be more profitable.
he is looks like he's going to sacrifice the Blood Artist to save the Aristocrat.
Yep.
And
so
take the rest.
The final Blood Artist trigger. So it triggered, I believe 5 times.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I mean that's quite a life swing, but Gene is, very significantly on the board.
Right. He's still got a lot of pressure. Casey not actually dealing with any of the guys on the other side of the board this turn. Just really kind of fogging one guy for a turn.
Yeah.
1.5, I guess. If you
I would
count
imagine that Casey has a Blasphemous Act.
Oh, well, he's got a Sorin. Sorin's going to make a Vampire, and Casey's going to pass back.
That's a really dangerous territory for Gene.
Sorin costs 5 there, just to point out, because of Thalia.
Yeah, Thalia is one of the most easily ignored cards. Like, why are you paying so much? So, one thing that Gene could do is he can cast Boros Charm on the Sorin to take it out. And he does have it in his hand now. Now that he has his 3rd mana, because Thalia makes Boros Charm cost 3. May not want to do that simply because the threat of Blasphemous Act. Blasphemous Act would be is castable given the current board state.
Yeah, and
so it may need to attack some to lower the number of creatures in play. But he doesn't have great attacks. But
well, everybody coming in, not quite sure if they're attacking Casey or Sorin, but I imagine they're attacking Casey.
Given his play in the previous game.
So you see the block, sacrifice the Vampire.
So Boros Elite is blocked.
Yep.
Thalia's gonna,
Thalia's gonna get blocked by the Cartel Aristocrat, which has protection from white after the Vampire is sacrificed. So the Aristocrat deals with Thalia finally, after that Thalia stuck around since turn 2. Casey falls to 8, but he does have a Sorin on board.
Other thing, Gene might have 2 copies of Boros Charm. Might be a pretty good.
So we have a Pillar of Flame on the Lightning Mauler from Casey, and then 5 mana for a Thundermaw Hellkite.
That is not a card I expected to see.
He goes a little bigger, just a 1-of in the sideboard.
So Gene falls to 4. Yeah, he's gonna need. Here comes Boros Charm.
Yeah, another Vampire.
There's 2 of them. So we're going to a game 3.
Wow.
Gene would double Boros Charm. The attack just to get
enough
Casey down to 8.
Yeah, Casey just needed 1 more turn to dispatch Gene here in the finals, but Gene able to pull it out with holding onto those Boros Charms. I mean, he kind of had to hold on to them for a while because of Thalia, but once he hit that 3 mana mark, they were live, and then of course Thalia made it so that he was able. It was irrelevant anyway.
Yeah, he ended up getting his Thalia kill, so he could cast him.
So if you're just joining us, you're just in time to catch Game 3 of the finals of the StarCityGames.com Standard Open live from St. Louis. I'm Joey Pasco in the booth with Adam Prosak, and yesterday we brought you guys 10 Swiss rounds of Magic, one quarterfinals round, and then this morning we've got the semifinals and now the finals, finally. So we've had quite an exciting half a weekend so far. We've got a lot of excitement coming up shortly after the finals. We'll have an interview with one of the winners, or one of these guys, who will be the winner.
Yeah, there was only going to be one winner.
We'll interview one of the winners.
That's what we're deciding on.
I meant one of the week. I meant one of the winners this weekend.
Yes.
Because there are several. We've got premium winners.
Yeah.
We've got a standard winner. We're going to have a legacy winner. But yeah, we will be interviewing either Casey or Gene, and then we'll replay the top 8 for you guys to catch if you missed it or you just want to watch again, and then we'll be covering some legacy. I expect to see some show and tells and some, well, of course, some brainstorms. Those are always everywhere. Yeah, death rate shamans and shardless agents and maybe some.
How about some Thundermaw Hellkites?
I don't know about Thundermaw Hellkite,
well,
but you know.
So this might be your last chance to see Thundermaw Hellkite on Star City Live this weekend.
It could be. Just one in Casey's sideboard there, but we saw it.
We saw it, brought it in.
Yeah.
I think I like any of the other big cards. Like I like Obsidat more.
Yeah.
I like Olivia more.
Obsidat there would have kept him out of range of those Boros charms.
The 2-life would have been really, really crucial.
He wouldn't have knocked Jean to 4 quite as quickly, but I think the Obsidat.
I think there's still a 2-turn clock.
Yeah, I still
because
think
if he blinks it out, it comes back in, it'll deal 9. It deals 9 in its first 2 turns, and that's how much it needed to deal. Granted, Jean had a chump blocker on the ground, but still the life points would have let Casey.
He would have been sticking around for enough time to likely close out that game and the match.
Yep.
So and it's possible he brought in Obsidat. We didn't see it.
That's a lot of 5s.
That's what I feel like.
5 mana cards are not where you generally want to be against a blood stack. But I do believe that Casey has sided out his Falconwrath Aristocrats. They seem very weak. They are an aggressive card where Casey really wants to take the control role.
Right.
He definitely wants to whittle down Jean's board. You saw him do that somewhat effectively. He did do a very good job at whittling Jean's board down to just a Boros Elite. However, he ended up at 8 life in the process, and the 2 Boros Charms took it down. So I actually really think the way these first couple games have played out, I really like Casey in this game 3. Jean's had a really hard time attacking through Casey's creatures, and he hasn't even played a Boros Reckoner yet.
Yeah, you're right. And Casey now on the play.
Right, so he'll have more time to
present a defense to Jean's.
Right, and a lot of his defense is just in the form of random creatures. Doomed Traveler, big deal.
Right, it's going to soak up a lot of damage.
Or
just
threaten to trade with a lot of Jean's creatures.
All right, so they're looking at their openers. And it looks like we've got a keep from both players.
Yeah,
all right, we're on
14 cards for this final game.
I think we're underway, yeah. Casey goes Godless Shrine, tapped, go. And we've got a Temple Garden for Jean, goes to 18. He's going to play a turn 1 Boros Elite?
Something.
Yeah, it looks like a Boros
Elite. Looks like just Boros Elite. Once again, Boros Elite, probably the weakest of the cards to play on turn 1.
Still better than passing,
Yes. You're only allowed to play 4 champions. This deck would be very good if you could play any number.
Cartel Aristocrat on turn 2 from Casey. It's a naked Aristocrat, though. No buddy. So if Jean is able to...
we said unlikely that Boros Elite will attack with Battalion. So unless we see that in a Lightning Mauler.
Burning Tree Emissary. Don't see a Lightning Mauler? Or do
Lightning Mauler?
Is that a Lightning Mauler? No,
Firefist Striker.
Card that you thought he might board out.
Yeah, it can be good. For example, if Casey, he just drew a Blood Artist. I believe he has some altered Blood Artist. But if he plays one, Firefist Striker will be very potent. Unless Casey also has a Tragic Slip to break up the Battalion.
So Blood Artist comes down, joining the Cartel Aristocrat, and Casey passes back to Jean.
Let's say Mayor of Averbrook?
Yeah, Jean has a Mayor of Averbrook this turn. Looks like it's coming down, and, well, a little hesitation there.
There it is.
Yeah. Mayor of Averbrook.
So this is really, if Casey does have a Tragic Slip, this is...
and it looks like he does. We're seeing
so we'll see what kind of timing. Yeah, really, so if Casey wants to kill the Mayor of Averbrook, he's going to have to, this is a very powerful Battalion triggers. Boros Elite becomes a 3/3. Cartel Aristocrat probably can't block.
Yeah.
Unless Casey wants to give up the Blood Artist. Which he might do. That seems very likely, actually. That's what I would do, for sure. If you could, because Firefist Striker targets.
Yeah, he give it pro red in response
so he could, like the Cartel Aristocrat could block. Chooses not to do that, wants his Blood Artist in play. So falls to 13. Takes 7 damage, falls to 13. No big deal.
Yeah, 13's fairly safe.
Good spot for him to be. Lingering Souls. Definitely making the Firefist Striker worse. This is one of the weak spots of Firefist Striker. He's got a bunch of guys in play, and making one of them not be able to block, not a huge deal. We'll see what kind of... it looks like Gene has a Boros Reckoner, so he did decide to bring that in. Just do his third land. It's a Cavern of Souls. It could name Wizard. Alternatively, I believe there are 2 frontline medics and a Flint Hoof Boar. Or not frontline medic. Is it frontline medic or Boros Elite?
Yeah, from the side.
Can't really tell until he casts one.
Right.
But Wizard is Wizard or Minotaur named from Jin.
So Boros Elite, Boros Reckoner actually able to be cast off of that cavern, and Gene has yet another guy, a 4th creature on board. So we're 4 for 4 on each side of the board.
So these attacks from Gene are not great, so he just passes. Is really just looking up to build an overwhelming board. Keep in mind that Casey cannot cast Blasphemous Act while that Boros Reckoner is in play. So
yeah, again, one of those.
Does not have to worry about a board sweeper. Instead, he will have to worry about a 2nd Cartel Aristocrat and a flashback of Lingering Souls. So this board very clogged up. Blood Artist probably the best card on either side right now. So 4th land from Gene. Probably you can get, if one of his cards is Frontline Medic and not Boros Elite. Frontline Medic could be very, very strong in this situation.
I think it was Boros Elite that we saw in Gene's hand, but we didn't get a good look at it. And
one thing to keep in mind: the Flint Hoof Boar in Gene's hand, only a 2/2.
Very, very good point. Yeah, his red sources are both buddy lands.
Yep, there are only 8 mountains in Gene's deck. One reason I'm not the biggest fan of the Flint Hoof Boar, in addition to it not being a human. But it served Gene well so far, and he's looking to...
He's got something going on. Oh, double Boros Elite.
2 Boros Elites.
And a pass, I think.
Real unfortunate for Gene that neither of them were frontline medics. It's entirely possible they did take out frontline medic for the Boros Reckoner.
Yeah, didn't want to increase his curve.
Yeah, but I think frontline medic is one of his best cards, especially in a situation like this. Ooh.
And there we see Obsidat. Maybe Casey switched out that Hellkite for the Obsidat, realizing the same thing we did. And it would have been
the 2 life would have saved him in game 2.
Yeah, he would have lived
but,
through that.
I think he just plays the drain game for a little bit.
At this point, like, Gene hasn't attacked for the last 2 turns.
He does not have great attacks.
Yeah,
he might be thinking on it if he wants to blink it out, because potentially next turn, 3 Boros Elites, he'll have 4 3/3s if he so chooses, and none of Casey's creatures can block it single-handedly. But it is important. The drain for 2 is important with the Blood Artist. Going to team up with the Blood Artist, and that's how Casey's going to win this game. It has to win somehow. So I think if Casey, his alternative play was to leave the Obsidat in play and attack with a couple spirits. He does have to win the game at some point. He can't simply... So here comes...
Well, looks like Gene's going to attack with everybody here.
Firefist Striker trigger. Cartel Aristocrat can't block. Casey says, well, I'll sack a spirit. It can block. Protection from red.
Also, Blood Artist triggers, so we're going to go 14, 16 life totals here. Cartel Aristocrat gets in front of Boros Elite.
No, it'll be interesting to see where all of these creatures go.
Yeah, so He's
he has an opportunity to either chump block or start whittling down some of Gene's team. It'll cost him a lot of his creatures to do so. So one potential thing is put an additional spirit in front of the Boros Elite that the Cartel Aristocrat is blocking. Mm-hmm. That'll give him 3 power in which to kill it, but he'll have to sack another spirit to give his Cartel Aristocrat per white. But that can be another spirit that, say, is chump blocking the Boros Elite, Reckoner. So Boros Reckoner will take no damage if he sacks it to Cartel Aristocrat.
Right.
So I think I like that. We'll see how much Casey wants to block. I actually think just put 1 spirit on.
Yeah,
he's changing his block, so he's going there.
He's trying to figure this all out. He's got a lot of guys that he's got to block, and he's got a lot of guys to block with, and then of course,
a lot of blocking opportunities. So I think
here.
at least one of the Boros Elites should be chump block because he's going to have to. Oh, he could sack a spirit on the Boros Reckoner, so he's thinking about taking 9. It's not really 9 because he's going to be gaining some life back from the Blood Artist, and then he's going to gain some more life when the Obsidat comes back. So, I mean, Casey not going to die this turn.
Yeah, it doesn't appear that way.
Yeah, I think, and Gene's in danger of dying, actually.
Yeah, because of all the Blood Artist triggers and then the Obsidat trigger, it's just draining Gene.
Yeah, it's going to drain and attack for 5, more than likely, unless Gene has another blocker.
Right, Gene doesn't have any, if Gene doesn't have a follow-up blocker. Alright, so looks like Spirit that was blocking the Boros Reckoner is sacrificed to protect the Cartel Aristocrat.
So now both Cartel Aristocrats protection from red.
Yeah.
Or at least protection from the colors of creatures they're blocking.
Yeah.
Looks like Casey's going to take 9, go down to 9, but 2 creatures of Gene's die now. So Casey's going to go back up to 11. Gene's going to go down to 11. So we're 11 all, and I believe Casey has a lethal attack. Unless Gene has a blocker.
Gene appears to have played a 4th land.
I believe the 4th land was last turn.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Well, okay, so the Flame Boar comes down, so it won't die to this Obsidat, but it won't be in good shape.
Yeah, so Obsidat now comes back, drains Gene for 2.
So lots of life totals changes.
Yeah.
This is both players' life pads getting getting a good workout. So I don't know if Casey can win the game. I believe. Let's see, get updated life total. I believe it's.
Yeah, I think Gene's at 9, but.
Yeah, not positive.
Right, we could definitely be wrong. I thought that the Blood Artist triggers were bringing him to 9, or bringing him to 11, and then Obsidat brought him to 9. But,
yes. Well, here comes the whole team that has power, at least.
Yeah.
Blood Artist not going to deal too much. So it looks like Flinthook Boar needs a chump block Obsidat.
Yeah, so the Boar is going to get in front of the big dude over there.
Yeah. I think if Gene's at 11, this is still lethal.
6.
Because he's going to take 6 from the attack, go to 5. The Blood Artist trigger goes to 4. And then he can sacrifice his team to Blood Artist. Sacrifice the team and Cartel Aristocrat.
Right.
And so he's doing that 1 by 1.
Yep.
4 triggers.
Yeah.
And that should do it.
So yeah, there it is.
There it is, Casey Hanford, your standard open winner.
Yeah.
With the Act 2.
Yeah, and I think as we thought, he was basically setting it up so that as long as he was okay during the first few turns, once you got to turn 3 and beyond, like he's got guys that are just bigger. Of course, he's got
his defensive matches were very good against the type of offense Gene was trying to present.
Yeah. So. Welcome back to the booth. I'm Joey Pasco.
I'm Adam Prozac.
And coming to you guys live from St. Louis, where we just had a finals match. Pretty exciting finals match.
Yeah, it was very good.
3 games.
Very good final, yeah.
Yeah.
3 very good games.
Yeah, so making an announcement now about that finals, our standard open champion, of course, being Casey Hanford, and we've got another winner to announce.
Yeah, Phil Montgomery.
Yeah, Phil Montgomery.
At PGM 0846.
That's right.
You are our Twitter winner.
Yeah, well, everybody's cheering for you, Phil.
Yeah, they just announced that Casey has won the Standard Open,
yep.
and to much applause.
Phil at PGM 0846 is our premium winner for knowing that the artist appearing at Grand Prix Miami for the first time in the United States for a Magic event is Greg Staples. Excuse me. Greg Staples, of course, lithographs available through Star City Games. Phil, follow SCG Live, and we will contact you about how to claim your free premium.
Do you know what cards Greg has done?
He's done a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Goblin Sharpshooter's one that I always liked. Of course, Sarah Angel, or at least one iteration of Sarah Angel.
Yeah, I believe like the classic version, right?
I mean, well, the original version was Doug Schuler, but the one that is now like the classic Sarah Angel that you see on a lot of things is Greg Staples. Cool. He also did Baneslayer Angel.
Oh, nice. That's a big one.
So he seems to be very good at angel artwork, but a lot of his stuff is really good.
So if you like angels,
Greg Staples, he's just one of the best. He's just one of the best artists. I feel like if somebody would have asked me, like, a couple of years ago before Star City started doing the whole lithograph thing, name some of the best Magic artists that we could do, for lithographs, I think I would have named